Hi, Matthew. Thank you for joining us on this interview. Great to have you here.
Pleasure.
And yeah, as we start, maybe you can briefly tell us about BridgerPay, your history, how you started the company, what was behind the idea.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for having me. Really appreciate it. We're known for being a payment orchestration platform or a payment operations platform. Essentially, what that means is that we are the technology layer between merchants and payment providers. So I like to say that BridgerPay's done the hard part of connecting to hundreds of payment providers around the whole world. And then merchants can do one API integration into BridgerPay and then access it all through one platform, one integration. So a nice sort of fast track and fast way to go to market.
And how long have you been in business? How long has the BridgerPay been around?
You could actually say that I think we were one of the first players in the market of the payment orchestration space and have been one of the leading platforms ever since.
Yes, that's a lifetime in the payment space, right? And what was the motivation to create the platform, since it was one of the first ones? Where did the idea come from?
Yeah, cool. I don't know if you've ever gone shopping around, by the way, and if you've ever tried to connect to a different payment provider across different countries. It's exhausting. Really not a straightforward procedure, even now, let alone a couple of years ago. So, Ran and Yaron are the two co-founders of BridgerPay, and they were working together in another company that was trying to sell educational packages around the world, so multiple countries, and they had such challenge with trying to actually be able to sell it in the different countries themselves. They had to connect to the payment providers, multiple different payment providers. Some end users preferred different payment methods, so you had to have the right mix involved. Anyway, so they had a product that they were ready to sell, but struggled to actually sell it and go to market with it. So the idea was born from that. Surely there must be a better way. And they couldn't find one, so they created one.
Okay, and in how many countries are you now?
To be honest, most of the world, actually, except for sanctioned jurisdictions, really. But yeah, most of the world. The regions that we're strongest in would be Europe, Latin America, North America, Southeast Asia, Africa, Australia. So yeah, pretty much most of the world, but those are the core strongest ones for us. I think we're also one of the very few orchestration platforms that is just focused on being the technology layer. So what that means is that merchants still have full control over their payments. They still get to contract directly with any other payment provider, and they're the ones that are, doing the actual connection themselves. We're just the facilitation layer in between. So it means that there's no sort of redundancy, there's no, limitations of being able to connect to any payment provider that you want to. And there's no limitations with managing that in our system. So purely a technology company. And with that in mind, AI is massively on the rise, and we've got a lot of exciting projects that we're working on to really sort of change the game of payments. And excited for the future of that.
What's the next big thing coming from AI for you guys?
Yeah, full-on optimization of the transaction and creating the perfect payment mix on a transactional basis autonomously. So that means sending the right transaction to the right payment provider that will ensure that it is 100% processed with the best fees. And
I think you touched there briefly on the AI being the next big part. So what other trends do you see in the industry that are going to change the payments industry or payment orchestration industry?
Yeah, I mean, I think AI is going to be probably one of the biggest contributing factors towards changing the landscape as it currently is. I think there's always going to be new methods that are coming out, trial and tested as well. So no matter what, we're always going to see these local payment methods come up through the woodworks and try to sort of come through and become, a popular method. So no matter what, we're always going to be seeing that. We are seeing a lot on the crypto side of things, of course. A lot of innovations there in the ways that you could also basically facilitate transactions by just being a technology platform, not necessarily a regulated payment provider. So I definitely see lots of advancements on the technical side of things, AI for sure. Even the way that merchants are able to integrate new payment solutions, I think that's going to become a lot easier and smoother and faster. So essentially, I think in the short term, a lot of the hiccups and hurdles that most merchants faced when trying to connect to a payment provider in any country, I think a lot of those are going to be alleviated, not necessarily just with companies like ours, but I think across all types of payment companies, they're going to be able to streamline the ways to get connected. I'm already starting to see that as well, where there's no touch flows with lots of payment providers, so you don't necessarily need to be speaking to anyone. You can add your KYB documentation via a portal and be issued and provided with your MIDs and the correct API details to integrate, all without speaking to anyone basically. So I think it is going to move it more into that direction. And then more testing of new methods we're seeing now across Europe. Wero is, coming out and becoming more popular, and that sort of seems to be the case, that it's wiping out lots of the other European payment methods, or seems to be replacing it. So I think we're just going to naturally see this evolution of different methods coming out, and smoother tech, yeah.
And so a lot of these payment changes are because of the infrastructure change, but you also see that there is a change based on the demand from the payers or the consumers.
Yeah, 100%. I think that everyone wants it easily. So, for example, when you used to pay online with your card, you would have to input your card details. Now you don't. It's tokenized and it remembers you, and you can store that safely on your own personal device, and just press OK, and then it adds the details for you. So I think consumers want it to be even smoother, less friction, as frictionless as possible. We see that with Google and Apple Pay, where it's just a click of a button and a face scan. And I believe that's also going to happen in the crypto space as well, rather than a long sort of tedious process to connect your wallet and make the payment. I think there's going to be a lot of smoother connections to external wallets like MetaMask, of maybe even just being able to click a button and approve the transaction in some way or another. But yeah, I think merchants want it to be as hassle-free as possible. And one thing that I think is crucial is that they don't like to be leaving the website page that they're on. Any redirection can come across a bit scammy, I guess, for lack of a better word. So I think these little nuances and little niggling things that we see now of merchants abandoning the cart, or why they're abandoning the cart, I think that will smoothen out, and their needs will be heard.
Okay, and obviously when using a payment orchestration platform, this helps the merchant because they don't need to make those changes individually one by one, and you're basically doing that for them, right?
You got it, yeah, exactly. So incredibly fast go-to-market, meaning no integration, everything's already available. So it's just a matter of speaking to your success manager to go, hey, I heard of Wero, or I heard of crypto, can you connect me to a provider? So we will do a lot of the legwork as well, of being able to match you as a merchant to the right type of payment provider as well. So that could save a lot of time naturally anyways. And then, you skip the step of integration basically. So merchants have a huge advantage when they're connected to BridgerPay.
Do you see the use of orchestration platforms being more active in some industries or online, or where do you see where's the most active?
Definitely. So I think naturally it started out to be more favored across the higher risk industries, and by higher risk I mean like the brokers or the iGaming and casino merchants, maybe even some crypto processors and things like that. Because I believe naturally those higher risk industries might have a higher turnover of different payment providers that could support them. Some risk appetite always changes, so one provider might be good to go in one market and then their appetite can change. So I think it's about the backup and not putting all of your eggs in one basket. But also there's the cascading mechanisms of being able to actually save and catch any soft decline transaction. That's just such a big plus for any market, but of course it catered very well to those higher risk industries. But I'm definitely starting to see that evolve, and have been seeing it evolve for a good few years now, to marketplace structures. It just makes a lot of sense for them, and e-commerce or particularly travel and hospitality merchants as well, where they can just connect to one platform and have all of their troubles solved. Because a lot of the travel hospitality merchants, the infrastructure is built on old school technology, so yeah, we're starting to see that transition from the old school technology that they've been connected to us, and the use case is just massive. It makes a lot of sense for them.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks. And then I guess moving on to the ForumPay integration part, which brought us together,
Yeah.
and we've been in discussion with you, Matthew, back and forth, I think, for a few years now, and we're finally finalized the partnership and the integration with you guys. And so from my side, obviously, we do these integrations whenever we have a client that uses your platform and they would like to use us. And so I assume on your side, the story was pretty much the same for us to seal this partnership finally.
That's exactly it. Yes, it was a mutual merchant that we had in common. So following our past discussions, because we've always stayed in touch and somewhat had a relationship or partnership regardless. But yeah, with the new demand from the mutual merchant that we have in common, that's helped us bridge that gap and get the connection in place, which we're very excited about.
Okay, and what would you say are some of the key benefits that your clients might have from this integration with ForumPay?
Yeah, cool. Well, it's an additional option for them. So of course they're connected to lots of the fiat methods that we have available in our platform. We're connected to any type of method actually. So the fact that now they can choose between crypto is of course a huge bonus. It's the advantages of crypto speak for themselves. It's so much cheaper, so much faster, instant settlements, huge growth that's happening right now, mass adoption and acceptance that's happening across banking infrastructures, payments infrastructures everywhere at the minute. So the biggest benefit for them definitely is access to that, and I think also they can access it without necessarily having to have too much knowledge or experience about it. With the capabilities that you guys offer and the support that you guys offer, you can pretty much be helping any merchant that has just heard about it and it's just at the start of learning about crypto. You guys make it simple enough and easy enough for them to proceed as if they were an expert.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. And do you see any industries where the adoption might be stronger of this, or any segments?
I'm seeing a similar trend actually, of the higher risk industries adopting it quicker than the lower risk industries. Or that's how I initially had seen it. So again with the brokers, again with the sort of iGaming and casino side of things. But I can safely say in the last year, I'm really starting to see that transition. I'm really starting to see a lot more acceptance, a lot more interest of all industries for crypto, particularly like the e-commerce and retail sector for high ticket valued sales, the sale of like properties or luxury cars or any luxury sort of product. That market has definitely sort of taken a huge interest, and then I'm starting to see as well like a bit of travel also having some interest in it. I think eventually we'll see that it will just become a norm and it will just be an additional option in the checkout, just like how Google and Apple Pay is. We'll see crypto just as one of those additional buttons.
Moving on to the merchant benefits of crypto payments, obviously from my side, representing a crypto processing company, I always say that there's no reason really not to accept crypto payments. It's, cheaper, faster. You give your clients more options, and you just get the payment process like any other transaction that's settled in your bank account. What, from your side, what do you think are some of the key benefits?
Yeah, I mean, I really, really agree with you, to be honest with you. It's quicker, faster, it's a no-brainer for any merchant to sort of have that as an additional option anyways, and it's quite straightforward to get onboarded, I think, because with you guys, it's probably way faster than it might be with connecting with the conventional fiat payment methods. I guess as well, one of the additional benefits is that a lot of merchants are concerned around the volatility side of things, but with you guys, you've got that ability to do an instant conversion to fiat, no matter the cryptocurrency that the transaction was paid in, really. So immediately that just eliminates any concern that any merchant may have, and I think that's a huge benefit. And then, of course, instant settlements, that could either be in the fiat currency that they've decided to have it converted to, or you guys even support the trusted stable coins as well. So yeah,
I agree. It's one of those things where if you want to tap into this big market, but you don't know how crypto works, you don't want to be exposed, you don't have to, right? The customer pays with crypto, we do the automatic conversion. Then once again, if you're one of those businesses that's maybe quite okay with holding stablecoin balances to use them for payouts, for example, you can do those as well. We offer both of those infrastructures, and all of those functionalities are available through your platform as well. Okay, and in terms of the future of payments, we're obviously seeing over the past few years payments becoming more and more interconnected with traditional finance. Like you see this settlement layer now, which is quite popular in stablecoins. Where do you see this ecosystem, developing over the next few years?
I think crypto is here to stay. I think merchants that are looking to add it into their sort of checkouts and their payment routes from now may have a benefit in the future. They'll be the ones that are already connected and already have got their foot through the door. And I think the future's incredibly exciting for cryptocurrency.
Okay, yeah. And one interesting thing to add from my side on that is if you consider that at some point they tokenize the stock market, for example, and when you have a payments infrastructure like ForumPay that basically can't process any digital asset, you can then walk in the store and pay directly with your Apple stock, for example, and basically use that as a form of currency, right?
True, yeah, exactly. How exciting is that? Like, God, that's going to take some getting used to. And even the smart contracts, like the purchase of, these big ticket sizes, buying a house is so stressful and time consuming to go through the whole process with a lawyer. Plus you have to spend, thousands on the fees. Whereas, if we are in a future with a tokenized sort of economy, there won't be any sort of challenges like that will exist. So yeah, that's exciting. And decentralized, I guess I'm an advocate for that, who isn't?
Yeah, as decentralized as it can be.
Yeah, as it can be. Yeah.
But yeah, and then looking forward from BridgerPay's perspective, what's like your view on the future of payment orchestration in general?
Yeah, for us, I'm looking forward to that as well. It's definitely taking that autonomous, smart routing sort of procedure or route that we want to be taking. So yeah, it's trying to resolve the sort of pain points right now that your accounting and that your payments team is having with trying to navigate through all the different MDR rates that you're receiving from different payment providers for different methods in different regions, and cross-reference that against the actual performance of them. So it's so challenging, I think, for any company to be able to decipher all of this information and make the right move. And a lot of time, I think the way that companies are doing it and overcoming it is by just A/B testing. So hopefully, with integrating a real strong AI layer, at the start of the transaction, we will be able to route it as optimally as possible, which is just inevitably going to be, increasing your approval ratios, helping you process more, making it less frictionless for the end user. So yeah, it's definitely along those lines of making it even easier than what it is now with just that one connection to access it all.
How do businesses future-proof themselves for everything that's coming and changing with the payments?
Yeah, I think they do just connect to BridgerPay. They can go to BridgerPay.com and get in touch with us, because we will take care of all the challenges for those merchants. We're already on the cutting edge of all of the new technology that's out there. We're enabling that and integrating it into our platform. So it's quite simple. Merchants don't necessarily need to keep up with the trends. We can sort of help them with that, and all they need to do is connect to us, basically.
Excellent. And it's the same from our side, obviously. If you're a merchant and a client of BridgerPay, or you're looking to accept different forms of payments without actually having to do the integration on your own, you can come visit forumpay.com, email me, Dinas@forumpay.com. We'll set you up. Matthew will help with the integration on their end, and we'll get you guys running in no time.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah, thank you, Matthew. It has been a pleasure, like always, catching with you up. And let's stay in touch. And thank you all who've been watching.